you're definitely going to want to consider Pumpkin's 10.1-inch Android double-din stereo. Inside the box is a user manual, installation guide, warranty card, hardware, brackets, RCA preamp output harness with Bluetooth microphone inputs, USB harness with 2 video outputs and 1 camera input, wiring harness which features steering wheel control keys and connects to a Metra 711784 aftermarket harness. USB harness with RCA AV inputs. External Bluetooth microphone. GPS antenna. And finally, the 10.1-inch double-din Android stereo. The rear connections on the unit include GPS antenna, Wi-Fi antenna, a whole slew of inputs for all the included and optional harnesses, and wiring harness for power ground and speaker. Initial boot time was pretty average. But this warm boot, I mean that the stereo has already been wired up and turned on before. This warm boot will simulate what the rest of your boot ups will look like. The similarities between this Pumpkin and the Decita that we reviewed are evident in their overall design and displays. This display features a ball joint, allowing mobility of the display up and down, left and right, and rotation. It operates on the same clip system to release the display from the ball joint. However, this should only be done during installation and is not meant to be a modular unit. I don't recommend removing the display too often. It's not meant to be constantly removed and reinstalled, and you could wear on the plug. The actual chassis is the same as any aftermarket double-din stereo. Few minor issues with this Pumpkin. First, connecting to the stereo with my iPhone's hotspot took a few attempts before the stereo took to it. Then we realized the included antenna had a defect which was causing the weak signal. The NA7006B autoplay dongle. Getting the programs to work led to more struggles. And eventually they sent us the correct APK file, which was called AutoCast, not AutoPlay like they say in the manual. Hopefully they will address this in their manual. I'll put a link to the correct AutoCast APK file below. Apple CarPlay worked fine and looked great, but Android Auto's graphics were a little pixelated. I would have loved to see an HDMI input on this head unit, but I guess they're thinking about the rear seat passengers more than the front seat with the 2 video outputs. Into the back, there's a lot going on, and one could see issues tucking everything into the dash neatly. The Pumpkin's massive 10.1-inch display is one of the best features of this stereo. It has a capacitive touchscreen similar to a smartphone and offers pinch to zoom controls. Pinch to zoom does not work in CarPlay or Android Auto maps, just on apps downloaded onto the stereo's actual hard drive. The not quite HD screen only has a resolution of 1024x600, but it still looks really good. And it plays back 1080p HD video files, obviously not displaying them in 1080p HD, but it's still 600p HD. They did opt for a wider screen than a typical double din like many newer vehicles have nowadays. As I always mention in Android stereo videos, don't think of this as just a stereo. Think of it like an Android tablet with some car stereo features. This stereo supports 3G internet and Wi-Fi. Use the Pumpkin to its full potential by connecting it to a Wi-Fi source. Either use your vehicle's Wi-Fi if you have it, or simply use your phone as a personal hotspot. The stereo's settings control the Wi-Fi. You can access the Google Play Store and download whatever you want. I was able to easily download Instagram and Netflix. Once connected, you can literally download any app you want. Google, Chrome, Google Maps, and a few other apps are already pre-downloaded. Surf the web for whatever you want. YouTube works fantastic. Check out QMV's latest videos. Be aware, you'll be using your phone's data for all web and app usage with the hotspot connection. An app you want, or use CarPlay and Android Auto. This Android 10 model features a quad-core CPU processor with 2 GB of DDR3 RAM and 16 GB of internal storage. This is refreshing to see. What are the rest of you guys hiding out there? Is a snappy, responsive interface and the ability to play music, which Pumpkin does very well. The stereo features an NXP TEF6686 radio chip for high-performance station pickup, as well as 18 FM and 12 AM presets. This Pumpkin is also DAB Plus digital radio ready with the Pumpkin DAB Plus box NA7001B. Bluetooth 4.4 offers hands-free calling as well as wireless music streaming. The one thing I don't like about this is Bluetooth music doesn't have its own source. You have to go into the Bluetooth source and then enter the music section. The unit has 2 USB inputs. Both work for USB thumb drives and with the AutoCast dongle for Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Smartphones will not play back music on either USBs as a source. For audio, it plays back MP3 and WMA files. And for videos, it plays back MP4 and again can handle 1080p HD files and also JPEG images. The Pumpkin features OBD2 expandability with torque for real-time data and car information. It also features several customization options starting with audio. Pumpkin gives you several boot logos to choose from. Upload a custom wallpaper. Adjust the backlight as well as the key color. When setting the illumination color of the keys, make sure you connect the illumination wire on the harness, so don't miss that during installation. Otherwise, the buttons will not illuminate. Set the steering wheel control commands. Review the stereo's internal storage situation and view all apps. Just like on a tablet or smartphone, you can exit the apps. Press the rectangle icon on the top and swipe left. Swipe down to show essential information like Wi-Fi and notifications. The home screen features source and icon customization like on a smartphone, giving you the ability to move apps around to different locations, as well as control over the widgets. This way you can drag and drop your most used sources like AutoCast and Google Search to the main home screen. The Pumpkin features Android smartphone mirroring via USB cable and AirPlay for iPhone via Wi-Fi connection, or use our smartphone mirroring adapters like the HDMI V2, which will plug directly into the RCA AV inputs of the stereo.